we have, first item we're going to review is going to be a Marvel themed night. I'm going to go with the Pavitir Prabhakar Spider-Man India. Spider-Man India tonight. So he was a cool figure, he was a cool character in the movie. Swinging around doing his thing. Though just like a really like well executed part of the second movie, Across the Spider-Verse. Cool character in the comics and Spider-Verse and all that stuff. So nice to have a figure of him for sure. Here he is in the Across the Spider-Verse packaging. Other figures from the wave and all that stuff. But we're not here to look at packaging, we're here to look at action figures, and we have at least 4 to get through. So let's open this up, take a look. Alright. So, here's your Spider-Man India. But let's get to the accessories first. So here is your alternate head, which we'll take a look at both heads next to each other. Very much like Disney Prince Aladdin. Well, I guess Aladdin wasn't a prince, but over here. Let's take a look at those. And here's our little... I want to call it a dreidel, but it's definitely not. Do we know what this thing is called? So cool little accessory there. Alright, let's take a look at him. Love the deco. The gold really pops on him. I don't know if... Yeah, there we go. I can catch the light a little bit so you can see that. Here's the back. Nice Spidey logo there. Just a really cool like version of him. Shoulders have some like blue symbols and stuff. Sorry, I just don't know what any of this stuff is called. Any of this like iconography. So I don't want to speak out of turn on it. But it's just like cool designs and stuff. Like, you know, clearly for the India theme that we have on this figure. There we go. Name on that side. There's the back. A little low hanging butt trouser going on there. I do like that they did the detailing here, like his little like skirt here is cool. It's not, well, it's not really, yeah, I guess it's kind of skirty. It's like individual leg layers that kind of form a skirt, and then it has the front part from his like little belt thing here for like his robes. Alright, I think it would only make sense to swap the head while we do this. There's a nice look at that masked head sculpt, which, I mean, let's face it, this is the head sculpt that we're all going to use, right? Alright, so there's a look at just the deco overall of the figure. Clearly all this pops. The colors are really nice. Really well done. But we got to get to the articulation segment. So let's get some articulation going. So we just pop this head on. See how far we can look at without popping it off. It is a very small peg. So not too much of a look up, and it doesn't have the extra neck articulation, so that's somewhat disappointing. But we'll see how the other articulation helps us get him like with like a looking up pose. Here's the shoulder. Can go up decent amount. He has a little bicep swivel here. And then there's your elbow. which is a double jointed elbow. It's a very small one, but is there. There you go. There's a double jointed elbow on him. And then we get down to the wrists. He has this little piece here that is a separate piece that you can slide out of the way. And then he's got the little, his hand is a little jerk articulation here. There you go. You can access that pretty easily once you move that piece. Alright, to the waist. So here is your lean back with just the waist. Very popping out some gappage here when you do that though. Big time. And then you can kind of still rotate that if you want. Here's the lean forward on that piece. That's a nice piece. I'm a little bit worried about some paint rub here when you do that. When you just lean forward like that, because I can feel it rubbing up against it, so I don't want to overdo that. And then it does have a lower waist as well, which is nice, because a lot of the times when they put this piece up here, they don't do the lower waist, but I guess since he's such a small figure, they want him to have like as much articulation as possible. So here we go, you can rotate that all around. It has a rotation here. So if we put both of these joints together and do the lean back head, you can get a little limbo-y for us. And then if you want to do the lean forward, that works out really well. I will say that there is a lot of gappage going on here. You can see the gappage on the other side as well. But pretty good lean down, though. Liking that. And then we'll work our way down the leg. So obviously we'll do our kick forward. Nice kick forward there. We'll do a kick back. That's actually pretty good. The way it hits that angle, it still looks good. It does not have drop down hips. There is no extra rotation here under these robes. And then let's get to the knees. Nice knees here. We'll do some splits. There's the splits. And we have this little ankle pivot here. There and there. Okay, so overall, pretty good articulation. It's just a matter of some of where you break in the articulation and show gappage and stuff like that kind of gets in the way sometimes. That's what I would probably shout out. Alright, do some hand swaps. We have a crawling. It's kind of weird that we don't have two crawling hands. But I guess you can get him with like a little bit of a... Well, you just got to be careful with these smaller pegs. There we go. With like a maybe hand on the wall hanging off or something. And I do want to have the holding hand. So those are the other two. This, I'm not really sure how we do this. I guess you just want it like in his hand so that he can kind of like hit people with it, right? Or like use it to swing. The thing is that I haven't seen the movie since the theaters, so don't have too much of a touchstone to how to do this with him. I mean, I guess you could go with like one of the like two-handed deals and then he's like hitting people with it and like bouncing around with it. That's a good one. Maybe do like he's throwing it out this way. I guess when you go underhand you can't really do that. Throwing it out this way at somebody. And then I was liking the idea of having him do like a crouch on wall pose type deal. Which he does have the articulation to get there. So like imagine that this is a wall and we want to have him like leaning off of that. I don't know, whatever. That's the inspiration that I'm having with this one. Maybe we'll do like a hand back handstand thing where he's like leaning back and then has to hit these articulation points. Just get like wide with it. There's this Black Myth Wukong pose. See if we can get that to hold. There you go. So that's what I would imagine. Him really hitting the acrobatics. Like getting low and doing stuff like that. 3 or 4 point crouch. I don't know what that means. Sith, you're so much better at articulating things than me. In more ways than one. That's a fun. That's what I came up with on a fun pose for him. While we make him make that farting noise. All right. Cool figure, nice articulation. Definitely can do a lot with it. Yeah, you can move. He can move. He can do the like. I'm wondering if maybe you can get him into like a handstand type thing. But you definitely got to be able to. I don't think his hand is big enough for me to be able to get him to like balance on one hand. But I would imagine that you can get him in a cool pose like that, like upside down. I'm going with the crouch coming out at you type pose right now though. But yeah, he definitely has nice articulation. Like you can definitely, the fact that I can get him sprawling on the ground like this pretty quickly is nice. We haven't spent that much time with the figure, so that's good stuff.